inside you slowly turns cold. The right response to that loneliness is conversation. Vulnerable, honest, sometimes uncomfortable conversation with the person you married. Telling them, not with accusation, not with blame, but with the kind of raw honesty that says, I trust you enough to tell you the truth. I have been feeling far from you. I miss you. I need us to find our way back to each other. Because here is what I believe with everything in me. Most of the distance that grows between two people in a marriage does not grow from a lack of love. It grows from a lack of honest conversation, from things unsaid that slowly calcify into walls, from needs unvoiced that become resentments, from hurt unexpressed that becomes silence. The intimacy you protect by never risking a difficult conversation is a shallow intimacy. The real, lasting, life-sustaining kind is built precisely in those difficult conversations, the ones that feel risky, the ones that require you to be seen in your need and your confusion and your imperfection. Those conversations are the mortar between the stones. Without them, even the most beautiful structure eventually crumbles. So be someone who has those conversations, and marry someone who can have them with you. Someone who doesn't shut down when things get emotionally complex. Someone who doesn't use silence as a weapon or deflection as a shield. Someone who is willing to sit in the discomfort of a hard conversation because they value the truth of your relationship more than they value the temporary comfort of avoiding it. Let me shift for a moment and talk about something beautiful. Because this isn't only about the warnings and the hard truths, and I don't want you to leave this conversation with only the weight of it. I want to tell you about what it looks like when it's right, when the person is right and the foundation is solid, and the love has been built on all the things it needs to last. Because I have seen that too. And it is one of the most quietly extraordinary things in the world. It looks like two people who have been through hard seasons together and come out on the other side still choosing each other, still finding things to laugh about, still reaching for each other in the night, still being genuinely interested in what the other person thinks and feels and dreams about. It looks like a comfort that is not complacency, a deep ease with each other that has never stopped being accompanied by a kind of quiet appreciation, like they still notice each other, still see each other. Not the way you see something new, with that electric hyper-awareness, but the way you see something beloved, with a warm, specific, irreplaceable recognition. It looks like a partnership where both people feel free. Free to be fully themselves, free to grow, free to have their own inner lives, and friendships and passions and perspectives, while remaining deeply connected at the center. It looks like two separate, whole people who have chosen to build something together, not two halves desperately completing each other, because that model, however romantic it sounds, puts a weight on another person that no one can sustainably carry. Two whole people. Two people who are okay on their own, and who choose togetherness not from need but from genuine, abiding, ever-renewable desire. It looks like respect that has deepened over time rather than eroded, like two people who have seen each other at their worst and their most ordinary, and their most difficult, and who still, having seen all of that, speak about each other with warmth. Who don't complain about each other to their friends in that chronic, grinding way that signals something is fundamentally broken. Who protect each other's dignity even in private spaces. Who never use their intimate knowledge of the other person's wounds as ammunition. That is what love looks like when it has been tended carefully over years. And it is so worth building toward. It is worth every uncomfortable conversation, every moment of choosing patience when you're running low, every time you turn toward each other instead of away. It is worth all of it. Now I want to say something directly to the part of you that might be reading this and feeling a quiet anxiety. The part that is wondering whether what you have measures up to everything I've described. The part that is running through moments and memories and trying to score them against some invisible rubric of rightness. And I want to say to that part of you, gently, with care, this is not a test with a passing grade. Love is not a checklist. The person you marry does not need to be perfect, or to have said all the right things, or to have handled every moment with grace. Neither do you. What matters is the direction, the overall orientation of this relationship. Is it moving toward honesty or away from it? Is it building trust over time or eroding it? Are you both, in your best moments and your average ones, fundamentally kind to each other? Fundamentally on each other's side? Because being on each other's side, that might be the simplest and most powerful description of what a good marriage actually is. Two people who have decided that they are on the same team, that the world can be difficult and confusing and sometimes unkind, and in the middle of all of that, we are each other's constant. We are the place the other person comes back to. We are the one who, regardless of who is right in a given argument, is always fundamentally working toward the good of the other person and the health of what we have together. I want to talk about something I think about often when I think about you specifically. And I know that might sound strange. How could I know what's specific to you? But in a way I do, because I know the kind of woman who is here right now, listening to all of this. I know she is someone who feels deeply. I know she is someone who takes love seriously, who doesn't approach commitment lightly, who has probably already asked herself many of these questions in the quiet of her own heart. I know she is someone who has given generously in love and perhaps not always been given back to with the same generosity. I know she has been patient in ways that sometimes cost her, hopeful in ways that sometimes left her exposed, strong in ways that sometimes meant she was never asked if she needed to be held. And I want to say to her, to you, that all of that is about to change. Or rather, it can change. It should change. With the right person, it will change. With the right person, your depth will be met with depth. Your generosity will be met with generosity. Your patience will be honored, not exploited. Your strength will be celebrated, and so will your softness. And so will every complicated, beautiful human thing in between. But you have to choose that person. Not the person who almost does those things. Not the person who could do those things if they changed. Not the person you love enough to believe they will eventually become that. I'm talking about the person who is already, right now, in the ordinary unperformed reality of your relationship doing those things. Imperfectly, yes. Incompletely, yes, but genuinely, directionally, consistently trying in the right direction. That trying matters. That direction matters. I am not asking you to find someone who has already arrived at perfect love. Nobody has. I am asking you to find someone who is on the journey. Someone who is actively, consciously, humbly working to be better at loving you. Someone who receives your feedback not as an attack, but as information they want because they care about getting this right. Someone who, when they fall short, and they will fall short, because they are human and humans fall short, comes back with accountability and genuine effort, and not just with charm designed to make you forget. I want to give you one last thing before I tell you what I've been building toward this whole time. One final piece of this that I think might be the most personal thing I've said tonight. I want to tell you what I want for you. Not in a general, vague sense, but specifically, from a place that is real and caring and completely without agenda. I want you to wake up on a random morning, months or years into your marriage, and look at the person beside you and feel, not fireworks, not the electricity of new love, but something steadier and in many ways more precious. I want you to feel at home. I want you to feel the particular peace of being completely known and completely safe. I want you to feel the warmth of someone who has chosen you again today, not because you are performing for them, or managing yourself carefully around them, but simply because you are you and they are grateful every day that you are theirs. I want you to argue sometimes and find your way back to each other and feel the specific sweetness of that return. I want you to go through hard things together and discover that the going through together makes you stronger, both individually and as a unit. I want you to have inside jokes that are years old and still make you both laugh the same way. I want you to have the kind of physical closeness that is as much about comfort and safety as it is about desire, that says without words, I am here, you are safe, we are okay. I want you to feel chosen, consistently, consciously, unmistakably chosen, by someone who could have chosen otherwise and chooses you anyway, every day, because they know exactly what they have in you, and they are not willing to take it for granted. That is what I want for you. That exact and specific thing, and I need you to want it for yourself too. not to settle for the approximate version of it, not to convince yourself that wanting that much is asking too much, not to shrink your expectations down to something more manageable, because you're afraid that the full thing doesn't exist or that you don't deserve it. You deserve it, completely, without qualification, without having to earn it or prove yourself